Hey, so my name's Megan, and I'm one of the writers for SheBuysCars.com, and we are just now kicking off our Periscope account, and so our very first stream is going to be the 2015 Chevy Colorado. They gave it to me this week to drive around. I guess technically they gave it to my husband, but he doesn't really review cars, so instead I'm doing it. I've never done a live review, so I'm going to do the best I can. Here we go. So this has been my view this week. I'm getting not the greatest gas mileage, as you can see. I'm averaging 14.9. Earlier today I was averaging 15.3 or 4. I haven't driven on the highway at all this week. I have only been running carpools and taking the kids back and forth, doing summertime kinds of stuff. Walk you outside the car just so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Red and black, which I really appreciate Chevy giving me a red and black car. I'm a Texas Tech Red Raider, and our colors are red and black. I know that is completely useless information for you. I thought it was funny because it has all these upgrades. It has a ton of upgrades, and then the gas can, click, it's old school. I thought that was so funny for some reason. So here's the back of the truck, and it came with a bed liner, which is great. We just hauled off a ton of our metal stuff this week. We have a metal recycling place near us, and we took the opportunity to go make $5 recycling our old basketball goal. It's got this handy dandy step, helps you step up and down, so that's great. The tailgate is pretty light. I'm able to open and shut it with just one hand. Now we'll go back inside the car. This is their smaller car. I know this Chevy Silverado is bigger, but actually this is a pretty large truck. I thought it was going to be smaller for some reason, but it's really not. I didn't have any issues getting into it. I'm about 5'7", and I'm able to slide in it with no problem. Now a pregnant lady might need a running board on this truck because it is slightly high up, but really I think for the most part you'd be okay. It's got a pretty good sound system. That's not the greatest song ever. Neither is that. Well, I guess there's nothing but terrible music on, I'm sorry. It does have Bluetooth. It works pretty great. I'm actually streaming this from the Wi-Fi in the truck. So the truck has a hotspot in it, which is really cool, and it was super easy to put my cell phone on the Wi-Fi. So, and the internet is solid enough that I'm able to live stream on here, which is pretty great because I kind of thought Wi-Fi coming out of a car hotspot would be pretty iffy, but so far it's been pretty great. I'll just walk you through angry, and so that's kind of nice. I don't know about you, but my kids fight constantly in the car, especially if they're touching each other, which in a truck they do because they have to all sit next to each other. Interestingly enough, this one has Pandora built in, but no other apps for streaming services. We don't use Pandora, we use a different streaming service, but it didn't matter because once I connected my Bluetooth to the car and I picked my radio station from my app, I was able to control everything from there, which was pretty cool. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this bad boy? There's the console. This thing comes out, so like my coffee cup was too big to fit in here, but you just pop that out and then you got a bigger cup holder. It's got a lot of USB ports. There's one there. It's got that old cigarette lighter port. I don't know what to call that. It's got the pretty big console with another USB port in the back of the truck. Back for the third row, there's 2 USB ports back there, plus another cigarette lighter plug-in. So that's great because, like I said, my kids like to this. The glove box is huge. No surprise there. It's got a lot of room. It's actually got a really great lumbar support. I got a bad back, so that's kind of a big deal to me to have my lumbar support. You got your cruise here on the steering wheel. What was different that I've never seen before, and I mean I don't normally drive trucks, so maybe this is a standard feature, but like right here you can see that you have you can click through these and see different things. Well, it took me forever to figure out how to change that. I'm like, is this a touchscreen or what? It's not. The menu's on my light switch, which I thought was a little odd, but it's kind of great. You see your average fuel economy. So I guess I'm averaging a little better than what it said initially, 15.7. So it's not great. I guess it could be worse, but it's pretty low. Oil pressure, and then it says the best miles per gallon has been 28, so that's actually great. So maybe part of the time I've been getting better gas mileage than I thought. So anyway, that's about it. I mean, it's got, you know, the heated seats, and it's got some really fancy features. It switches back and forth into four-wheel drive super easy. We took it off-roading, and when we were climbing up the hill, it automatically detects when you're coming up a steep hill, and it'll immediately turn on a assist feature to help you up the hill, which is pretty cool. It's got the standard backup camera. Oops, let's see. There's my backup camera. This morning I was picking up a little boy. I was carpooling to gymnastics, and it was a pretty tight squeeze, and I honestly thought I was going to nail the car that was parked along the road, and I didn't, because these lines actually guide you really well. And it's funny because as I turn the steering wheel, the lines change and it automatically tells me where I'm going to go. So that's pretty neat. I've had that before, but I haven't had one that changes like that with me. So now it's able to tell that I'm on a hill, which is kind of ironic because I'm just in my driveway, but my driveway is super steep. I live in Oregon, so and it automatically turned on the hill assist, so I thought that was pretty great. So that's about it. It's been a pretty great truck. It's really well. Like I said, we took it off-roading, and even then it really wasn't that bumpy of a ride. We used to go off-roading in a 1978 Blazer that was jacked up, and you would think that comparatively speaking, when you're in a rig that has been geared towards off-roading, that would be the better vehicle to go off-roading in, but actually this one did better, and it isn't jacked up. It's at the level that it comes in. They haven't made any modifications to it. So we do live in Oregon, so when we're out in the Columbia Gorge, sometimes when we get off the main roads, it can be pretty intense. So that was kind of handy. We hauled a boat with it. We were able to haul an old school boat, so it's pretty heavy. And again, it didn't even really feel like it was working that hard. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed walking through this. My first ever live walkthrough of a car. Hopefully it wasn't horrible. So thanks. Bye.